Ladies and gentlemen, the second edition of the Renovate Europe Day is definitively a very welcome initiative. Energy efficiency is for the European Union the most direct and cost-effective way to achieve our strategic goals. Reaching the 20% energy saving target would mean, for example, that 2.6 billion of barrels of oil per year would not have to be imported, and 200 billion euro, the cost of this oil, could be invested annually into the European economy. To use 20% less energy also means that many coal power plants would not need to be built. Despite the clear economic and social benefits of energy efficiency, Europe is only halfway towards its 20% objective in 2020. To close the current gap, the European Commission is putting in place a comprehensive policy framework to support energy efficiency. As well as the Europe 2020 objectives, the Commission has elaborated a roadmap for energy and for moving the European Union to a competitive low-carbon economy in 2050. This roadmap sets the scene for further policy developments and, if appropriate, for proposing further targets beyond 2020. With the revised Energy Performance of Buildings Directive and the newly agreed Energy Efficiency Directive, we are putting in place a broad range of measures that Member States can use to improve the efficiency of their energy use. Let me highlight a few of these measures, which I believe will have a major impact on building renovation. Firstly, by April 2014, Member States must establish long-term strategies for mobilizing investments in the renovation of the national building stock. These renovation roadmaps will become a major driver for the improvement of the existing building stock. Secondly, Member States have to refurbish at least 3% of their central government buildings each year. Of course, this is not as ambitious as the Commission wanted, but I am confident that various Member States will widen the scope of this requirement to more public buildings. And thirdly, Member States have to establish energy efficiency obligations, requiring energy distributors or retailers to achieve a defined quantity of energy savings among their customers by 2020. Many of the measures to be implemented under this requirement will focus on the energy performance of existing buildings. Finally, under the Energy Performance of Buildings Directive, Member States have to ensure that by 2021 all new buildings are nearly zero energy buildings. They must also elaborate policies for the refurbishment of existing buildings into nearly zero energy buildings, thus increasing the renovation rates. But regulatory framework alone is not enough. The European Union needs to focus and redirect its financial sources to address the energy efficiency financing challenge. That is why the Commission is proposing changes to the financial support for energy efficiency. The central element is the next multi-annual financial framework, where the Commission has proposed a minimum of 17 billion euros to be ring-fenced for low-carbon economy measures, including energy efficiency. This is a doubling of resources compared to the current financing period. Of course, the amount of money available from the EU level or Member States' budgets can never cover the investments needed for a comprehensive renovation of all Europe's buildings. That is why the Commission is keen to create the right conditions to bring more private sector financing into the energy efficiency market. A Commission report outlining further recommendations in this context is planned for the end of this year. Additionally, we are launching the Smart Cities and Communities initiative, where European cities and their industry partners can apply for EU funding to be used for integrated urban concepts, which for sure will also include concepts for energy-efficient refurbishments on a bigger scale. Undeniably, the construction sector has been one of the hardest hit by the financial and economic crisis. Building and infrastructure works fell by 17% between January 2008 and November last year across the EU. But I'm convinced that stimulating more building renovation is an excellent way for the sector to start growing again. In fact, in the recently published Strategy for the Sustainable Competitiveness of the Construction Sector, the Commission strongly advocates focusing on the renovation and maintenance of buildings to make the sector into a driving force for the creation of jobs. Obviously, the sector itself needs to show it can rise to this challenge. For example, by focusing more on delivering quality and ensuring the appropriate skills are present in the workforce. Also, our political leaders, our businesses, our banks, and our citizens all need to be properly aware of the benefits of energy efficiency so as to bring behavioral change. To this end, information exchange needs to be organized in a decentralized fashion so as to reach a wide audience. For all these reasons, initiatives such as Renovate Europe Day are so important. I wish you a successful day. Thank you all.